Hello.
Hello. I just wanted to know, what are your thoughts or concerns about the state of science education in the public schools today?
I think it's an absolute travesty that there is a popular movement in America. We seem to be alone in the world in this way of sort of making science something that is something that, like, we should doubt science. And being smart is, well, then you're an elitist, and that's not a good thing. And it concerns me greatly. The rest of the world is going to pass us, and we're going to be sort of, picking up trash behind China and India, and wondering why why smart people don't want to work in America anymore. And it is one of the reasons that I absolutely despise the modern, conservative movement, because it's not about conserving anything.
Encourage everybody to support the National Center for Science Education.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of appalling to me that we spend more on tax breaks for multimillionaires than we do on NASA. I mean, okay, Congress.
And
doing a heck of a job, you guys.
Well, if it goes to hell, if it all goes to hell, I have a lot of hookups in China, just so you know.
And in Jordan, apparently. Let's go. And Jordan.
Next question.
First of all, sir, I'd like to say that you would look a lot more like what I expect to look like when I grow up than what Commander Riker came up with when he was Q.
I know, right? Commander Riker gets the Q powers, and then he's like, Wesley, I'm going to give you your greatest wish. And Wesley's like, all right, Counselor Troy, let's go. And then Riker's like, here, I'm going to turn you into a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, barrel-chested dreamboat. And Wesley's like, what the fuck? I think that has less with it being Wesley's fondest wish, and more to it having to do with it being the costume designer's fondest wish.
Speaking of costumes, you asked me whether or not this was the most uncomfortable thing I ever wore. Truth is, when I made my first mock-up, it was.
Yeah.
So I fixed it. Why?
But it's not authentic.
Sorry. I have to walk out around it all day, and I don't have a fleece to. Then no one would know who I was.
Right.
Except for maybe you.
Right.
So why was it so uncomfortable? What exactly was so uncomfortable about it? Was the rainbow sweater better or worse? And did it finally get better when you got your own Starfleet uniform?
Oh man, getting my own Starfleet uniform was the greatest thing ever. It was awesome. It was really awesome. I've written about this in books before. There were times, Star Trek was a great experience for me, and there were times when it was the greatest thing in the world, and there were times where I just wanted to go home, and there were times where I was like, well, great, now I've missed the first period of the hockey game. I really wish we would shoot this scene on the bridge so I can go and watch the rest of it, because at the end of the day, it was my job. But I think of everyone, I like to pretend. I mean, I love that. I love that our job is to make believe. Like, every day I go to work, I look forward to work every single day, because I get to pretend to do something cool. When I got to put on a real Star Trek uniform, and I got to sit down and do the actual, Picard maneuver club and everything. It was such a great experience for me. I was so excited about that. And I had the same level of excitement when I first put on we call it Wesley's Gay Pride rainbow sweatshirt. Because it got me out of those sweaters that I hated so much. I mean, the sweaters were ugly. It was 1989. I was like, why don't they have neon pink gotcha sweaters in the future? And acid washed pants. Come on. And why doesn't Wesley wear 11 swatches? Because that's cool. Why can't my jeans be even higher waisted? Listen, kids, I'm going to do you a favor, okay? Listen to Old Man Wheaton for a minute. The 80s were not cool. We were a bunch of fools. You do not want to make that stuff happen again. I promise you. Seriously, build a bonfire, make the kindling out of the pajama jeans, and then put your 80s clothes on it, light fuse, and get away. I hated that spacesuit because it was just like, the whole point of it was to be tight, you know? And to like never have a line on it, because there's no wrinkles in the future. And no zippers. And it was just really, really hot. So, that was why. No, it wasn't hot like that. Is Robin Thorson here? That sounds like something Robin would say. And also, the other thing that I really hated about that was I hated Wesley's bouffant hairdo. I know. A lot of people like it, and there's a graphic online that you can see that's like, check out Wesley Crusher's sweet ass mother effing bouffant hairdo. He wears it like a boss or whatever, and it's great. I love it. Like that made having the hairdo worth it. But that was all about hairspray. To this day, I cannot smell Sebastian Shaker hairspray without throwing up in my mouth.
That was the same hairspray they used on me.
I think
Sebastian Shaker hairspray.
Sebastian's got a kickback from Star Trek. I mean, there's like
the big white can, the giant white can.
Yeah, there is a hole in the ozone layer shaped like the Enterprise.
Yes.
So thank you for your question. Thank you for your cosplay. I looked at your DeviantArt page last night, and your cosplay is beautiful. Your Zelda cosplay is amazing, and your Shell cosplay is fantastic. I hope you can someday bring your gargantuan companion cube.
I had it with
good.
me.
Good.
I just didn't get a lot of pictures as much as I thought, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for your
Keep
reaction.
getting excited and making things.
Thank you so much.
Holy shit! Drew Curtis from Bark!
That's
Movies!
Big fan of yours. I have a question for you. What is your favorite beer, and is there a studio that, in case an entire room full of people wanted to mail you some, that you could accept it from?
My favorite beer is Arrogant Bastard Ale from the Stone Brewing Company. Followed closely by Dogfish Head's 90-minute Imperial IPA. Followed closely by the Eraser 5 IPA, the Green Flash IPA. Basically, if it has IPA in the name and is made by a craft brewery. And I don't work for a studio right now, so I don't know where they would send it. Maybe if they sent it to my friend Drew, who runs Spark, he could forward it to me.
That's a very good idea, Will.
Does Spark have a mailing address, Drew?
No, it does not, unfortunately. I work at my house, but I imagine if you said Drew Curtis and you actually mailed the thing to Lexington, Kentucky, it would probably get to my house.
You know what to do, Internet.
Also, one more question. Will, would you also sign my boob?
Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things, Garrett. Yes, sir.
Yes. So I follow you on Twitter as Victor Walters. And I kind of rolled out of bed today just to get to this.
Wow, that's a commitment.
And I was at the Gonzo quiz last night. That's why I had to roll out of bed.
Yeah, I know.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you have filled plates dilithium crystal?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
Alright, well, there you go.
Yeah. Thank you. True facts. Hello.
Hi, Will. Do you want my DVD?
Yes. Bring it to me now. I am attempting to scientifically test the theory that says you cannot have too many dice. When I go to cons, I have a little cup and people come and give me their dice, and I'm probably up to about 35 pounds of dice right now. Wow. It's pretty awesome. Look, you all have dice. Awesome, thanks. I'm in the Walk of Fame. As soon as I'm done here, bring them there and give them to me. Please.
I totally feel like Lemmy now. So Will. I want to say two things, and then I have a question.
Okay.
I'm a huge Nerdist fan.
So am I.
And I don't want to know how he fucked the snake out of the cage, but it was an awesome.
No one wants to know how he fucked the snake out of the cage.
And I wanted to say
He
that.
fucked my snake out of the cage, okay? So how do you think I feel about that? I know. None of you know what we're talking about, so it's even worse.
Listen, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, I wanted to say I'm very lucky that I got to meet Chris last year, and I got to meet you. Like that.
This counts.
It's awesome. But have you made any awesomely bad cell phone videos this weekend?
No, I haven't. I haven't really had time. I'll try to make a lame cell phone video today.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next question, please.
Hello.
Hi.
This is in reference to after you left the show and you come back and guest star. Do you feel like the writing was consistent with trying to portray your character from the earlier episodes? I guess. Oh, sorry.
I don't. Yes, I do. I think it was more realistic. I think one of the great failings and one of the great missed opportunities in the first several seasons of writing Wesley is that he was an idea, not a person, and he was an archetype instead of a character. And I wish that the writers had been able to talk to me. I talked to Melinda Snodgrass a couple of years ago, and she said, "Yeah, the producers told us we were not allowed to come talk to you." Because they didn't. Well, there was, like, you know this. There were people in the office that had this like divide and conquer strategy, where they never wanted us to like feel like we were all kind of on the same team, and there were some people that sort of wanted us to always feel like, well, you know, we could kill you anytime, and well, kill your characters anyway, and it was kind of a bummer. So I was experiencing this tremendous angst, or angst if you prefer, where I was a teenager and I was working with adults all the time, just like Wesley Crusher, and we could relate to each other as professionals, and we could work together, and I could hold my own with them on a professional level, just like Wesley Crusher. But I couldn't hang out with them because they were adults and I was a kid, and I desperately wanted their approval, and I desperately wanted to be friends, and I wanted to be cool like they were.
You're cool.
Just like Wesley Crusher. Well, yeah, I mean, I know I'm cool now, but I wasn't cool then, and it created a lot of turmoil within me. And it set me on this path where I felt like I had a lot to prove to myself and to everyone else. And when Wesley came back as an older teenager, I think Ron Moore got that, and he wrote some of the best stuff for me. And he said that he always felt like Wesley was too smart to be constrained to the military structure of Starfleet. That he felt like Wesley was way too independent and really needed to go do his own thing, and that's why he sent him off with riding around the galaxy eating fan candy with the Traveler for the rest of the So you win some, you lose some. Yeah, thank you. I think
This will be the last question, right? Last question.
So your philosophy is don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I know where this is going. I know.
Is there a reason you choose not to leave that example?
I knew what you meant. I got it. The rest of them are distracted by your costume. But I got it. I don't know why I play douchebag so well. Because it is so important to me. When I had major sinus surgery a few years ago, and I had it's a genetic thing. My brother and sister and I have all had this surgery to take like polyps and monsters out of our sinus cavities. issues, and I had it worse than all three of us. And it's a long, complicated surgery, and I was going to be put, go under for the surgery and all that. And, I had to consider that I would go to sleep and not wake up. And I felt like I had to have some conversations with my kids in case that happened. And I sat my son Nolan down and I said, listen, I'm going for surgery in the morning, and it's probably going to be okay. This guy does them, he does them every day. But if for some reason I am not here to continue raising you, the most important thing in the world to me is that you live an honest and honorable life. And when you look in the mirror, you are proud of the person who looks back. And you are kind, and you are generous, and you are honest and honorable. And he was like, okay, can I go back to playing Xbox now? But those are my values. That is what is most important to me. And another way to sum that up is to say, don't be a dick. But as an actor, we all have a different archetype that we can play. All actors have different roles in which they excel. John Travolta is a great example. John Travolta plays that lovable loser really, really well. He was great in Grease, he was great in Saturday Night Fever, he was great in Welcome Back, Kotter, and then he's awful in all these movies because we don't believe him as a hero. And then he's a junkie hitman in Pulp Fiction, and we suddenly were like, oh right, of course, you're the lovable loser. We remember, we love you again. A number of years ago, I was, my friend Kim Evie, who produces The Guild, she was doing a web series called Gorgeous Tiny Chicken Machine Show. And she asked me if I would be on it. And I said, yeah, will you write a character for me who's like a douchebag? Like a douchebag agent? Because agents are gross and horrible. And she said, why do you want to do that? You're so nice. And I said, I don't know. I just have a feeling that that's the right thing to do. So she cast me in that. And that led to Felicia asking me to be a douchebag in a kilt on The Guild. And then I was a douchebag on Numbers. And then I was a serial killer rapist on Criminal Minds. And now I'm kind of a douchey guy on Eureka, and also evil Wil Wheaton on The Big Bang. She has a sign that says Wheaton. That's awesome. It's just sort of what I do as an actor. It doesn't mean that I'm like that, but it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I like to pretend. It's really, really fun to pretend to be the kind of person that I absolutely despise.
Also, I don't have a Sharpie, but if you are interested.
That's the best way to end this panel. Thanks a lot for coming out to second show. Thank you. Wil Wheaton! And don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
Take advantage.